everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in today's video I have created this look that I've got on right now. This tutorial is going to be an in-depth video on how I do a halo cut crease. This is one of my go-to looks for when I go out, and it's also one of my favourite ones to create. I've gone for purple and pink today, but you could substitute the colours for any that you are wanting. So in this video I'm just going to be taking you through how I do it, any tips and tricks that I've got. So if you do want to know how I created this look, just keep on watching. So I just went ahead and primed my eyes with the P. Louise base and also did my eyebrows. As you can tell, to create this look I'm going to do today, I think I'm going to go in with the Carnival XL Pro palette again. Obviously I can't stop using this at the minute. So just before I start my eyeshadow, sometimes the P. Louise base on my eye shape, because my eyes are quite hooded, I do find it tends to crease a little bit, so I do sometimes just take this dense buffing brush and just pat over it to just get rid of any creases, so you can't see it when I put the eyeshadow on. I'm just going in with the shade Reckless. I'm getting plenty of product on the brush, and I'm just going to start patting that into the eye. I'm not going in too harshly, just making sure I build up that product so it's nice and pigmented. And as you can see, I'm kind of following the shape of my eye, but because I'm doing a cut crease, I am going to take it a little bit higher than my natural crease line, just because I want you to still be able to see the eyeshadow once I've gone over with my P. Louise base to create the cut crease. So I'm just taking that higher than my natural crease line. As you can see, it does look a little bit crazy now, but we're going to blend it all out so it won't. Oh, solid there. I did just slip here with my brush, but it doesn't matter because once you go in to buff it out with the other colours, it'll diffuse that product anyway. I like to do my eyes both at the same time. I know some makeup artists do one eye and then the other eye, but sometimes I forget what I've done on this eye. If it's something where I'm just trialling some makeup out, sometimes I forget what I've done on this eye, so I do it step by step. So I'm just going to go and match the other one up and then I'll be right back. So now we've got me looking like an absolute crazy person. I'm going to go in and diffuse this product up and try to create a nice blend. I think I'm going to go in with... So now I'm just going to go in with the shade Funky in the palette, which is like a bright pink, and I'm just going to diffuse that purple up towards the brown. I always find for when you're packing on your colours at the start, if you use a more dense, less wispy brush, and then when you're blending it out, if you use a more wispy brush, it does tend to help blend the products. So to start with, I'm just trying to diffuse that quite harsh line, buff it out upwards with the use of the pink. Just in circular motions, I always find is the best. I personally as well like to start at the centre of the eye and then work your way outwards. I'm just going to keep blending, and I do want to completely blur that line between the purple and the pink. Sometimes I do find it does work to just go back in with the first shade, Reckless. Just very, very lightly tap on there to kind of diffuse the line. So now that I've done that, I'm just going to go in with Pep Talk, which is a lighter pink in the palette, and I'm just going to start to diffuse that product and get a really nice blend. I personally don't like taking mine all the way to the brow, especially at the end of the eye. I don't like taking the eyeshadow all the way up to the brow because I feel like it takes away how the blend looks. Because if it just kind of goes straight into your eyebrow, you don't kind of see that fade out of the product. I do like to leave a slight gap. Not so much at the front, but definitely at the end, so you can see how the eyeshadow is blended instead of it just going into the eyebrow. And then as you can see, there's a little bit of a line between there and the light pink. And I'm just going to take Persuasion, just the little tiniest bit, and then back into the Pep Talk, and then just repeat this process until you're happy with how it looks. So I'm quite happy with the blend of this one, so I'm just going to go off camera and match this one up, and I'll be right back. Because we're doing a cut crease, I think it's really important, one of the most important steps, is that you don't lose that dark product there, because a lot of people do the dark part of the shadow, pack the colour on, and then they kind of go over it with the concealer and you lose that dark product, so you kind of lose the depth to your eyeshadow. I think it's really important that you take the dark colour above your crease line so that you don't lose any of that colour. So now that all of that eyeshadow is done, I'm going to remove just a little bit of it on the lid. So we've got a blank canvas for the cut crease to go on top of. I like to use Vaseline. I think it's one of the best things at removing eyeshadow. You just got to be careful where you place it, because if you kind of put it on top of the eyeshadow and then you were to wipe it, it literally comes off like clean off. So before I add the Vaseline to carve out where I want my cut crease to go, I just pop a little bit of the P. Louise base on the bottom of my eyelid and just look upwards so I can see where I want to cut the crease. I just pop a little bit just there like that, and I just look up, and wherever it stamps is, I'm just going to take it slightly above that to cut the crease so we can still see it when the eyelid is open. And then I'm just going in with my Vaseline and just rubbing it along up until this point. This is where, once you get to this point, this is where I'm very careful, because you don't want to take off more product than what you need to. Once I've rubbed the Vaseline on, I take the clean side of the Q-tip and I just wipe just like that, and you can see how cleanly it has taken off the product. I just rub the Q-tip along the eye because I just find that's the best way to take off the product. The neatness of the cut crease that you've made doesn't matter, because obviously you're going to go over with some concealer, so it will all look very neat and very fresh. So I'm just going to grab my P. Louise base and just pop some on the back of my hand. And then I think the key for this bit is you've always got to have a concealer brush or a packing brush that's a circle shape, so when you're going in on the halo cut crease it's really easy to angle and you've not got any like edges sticking out. I just like to start mine in the middle, just like that, and as you can see what I mean about the round shape of the brush. And I know this probably looks shocking right now, but you just gotta trust the process. So then for me, one of my most important steps that I always find when doing a cut crease is to blend the base. So I just kind of start working at the base and I just start dabbing it and start diffusing it into the eyeshadow, and this helps your eyeshadow to blend into the base easier. So I think I'm going to go in with the white shade Pillow Talk, and I'm just going to dab that all the way along the cut crease, making sure I get right up to that top line. And then once that's all set in place, it's time to blend the purples and the pinks into the white and really bring this whole cut crease together. I'm just going to go in with that purple. One of the keys to getting really pigmented eyeshadow is to not sweep it, it's just to press it on. So that's what I'm doing just now, I'm just pressing on the pigment. I'm not brushing it along, because if you can imagine, as you're brushing it, you're swiping the product instead of patting it. So now, as you can see, it's looking kind of like I've got a white stripe in the middle of my eyeshadow. But if we just take a little bit of that funky that we used to blend out the starting colour, and I'm just going to slowly blend that into these parts to just really diffuse that colour. Oh, ow. Ow. And then sometimes I do just go back in with that white to just touch it up and make sure we don't lose that central cut crease, and that you can still see the white in the middle. So I just went ahead and matched both eyes up, and now I'm just going to pop a little bit of eyeliner. I feel like just a little bit of eyeliner just brings the whole look together, and sometimes I feel like it can look a bit bare if you don't put any eyeliner on. So I'm just going to go ahead and So I'm just going to go ahead and line my waterline with this black pencil. So I just went ahead and popped some lashes on, and I'm just going to go back off camera and do the rest of my face, and then I'll come back to do the under eye. So for the under eye, I'm just going to take the exact same colours that I did on the top and just pop them on the bottom. I'm using a dense brush so I can pick up quite a lot of product. I am then just going to smoke this colour out using that bright pink funky shade. I'm taking it quite low because I want it to be quite a dramatic look. I nearly forgot one of the most important steps. I'm just going to pop some mascara on my bottom lashes just to really pull the whole look together. And yeah, that's it all finished. So this is the final look. I'm really happy with how it came out. I hope that it was useful for you to have an in-depth tutorial on how to do a cut crease. You don't necessarily have to use the colours I've used. You can, mix it up and use whatever colours you want, but use the steps. So if you did enjoy this video, feel free to drop a like, a comment, subscribe to my channel for more content like this, and I'll see you in another video. Bye!